gonna start this. So. Welcome back to another university segment. Today we have Norbert Adomako, who is an optometry major at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Ghana, Africa. Norbert is an optometry major, and he is the president of the Blockchain Club at his institution. Today, Norbert's going to be telling us a little bit about blockchain in Africa. So the floor is yours, Norbert.
All right, thank you, Tyler. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and a very big hello to all the audience on this platform. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Norbert Amankwaa Adomako. I'm a student of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology here in Ghana, West Africa. I'm currently the club president of our blockchain club and also a MouseBelt ambassador. Today, I'll be talking about the state of blockchain in Africa, how blockchain is revolutionizing our industries, and how our people are using cryptocurrencies. So I'll start by going through an 11-slide presentation that will let us pass through what is going on in Africa. Yes, this is the slide that we'll be going through. Okay, so in this presentation, we'll be looking at a lot of things, and firstly, we will take a look at the current state of blockchain in Africa, and then we'll take a look at how blockchain is affecting my region, that is Ghana, and how people in my country learned about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. We will go ahead and look at, is either Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies accepted in Africa, and what other industries in Africa can blockchain be used for? And are there any challenges to Bitcoin adoption in Africa? And also, what is the current club here in Ghana, that is the KNUST Blockchain Hub, doing for Africa as a whole? So let's start by talking about the current state of blockchain in Africa. Can you see the slides?
Yes, I can.
All right. So the world is, can you see the slides?
Yep, it's all clear.
That's very good. So the world is undergoing a very technological advancement at a very unprecedented rate. And this is basically altering the way we live, the way we work, and even relate to one another. Right now, blockchain technology is no different in this alteration since its introduction in 2009. Now we can see that Africa's systems and infrastructure were badly broken as a result of the colonization some years ago. And so many African countries are considered as developing countries, as there are many challenging factors in Africa. But blockchain technology has given Africa a very great opportunity to shape almost every industry systematically. So as of today, the current state of blockchain technology in Africa is still at its very early stages, although some decentralized technologies in Africa have succeeded in gaining traction and are pressing some challenges like economic, social, and even political issues. And sectors such as education, financial services, even land titling, as well as healthcare, have been affected with blockchain technology. And so that is the current state of blockchain in Africa. Let's talk about the blockchain in my region and how people learned about blockchain in Ghana. Ghana as a country, as a developing country also in Africa, is also having its fair share in when it comes to blockchain technology, although much behind as compared to some African countries like South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Sudan, and other countries. Ghana, most people in Ghana know Bitcoin as a digital currency and its uses. But according to my own analysis, I have gotten to know that not all of them know about the technology behind this Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. As many people got to know about blockchain and cryptocurrencies during the 2017 bull run, as it was making waves in the financial sector. And so many people in Africa, particularly Ghana, invested their money in ICOs, even without knowing the technology. Many of such investors lost much of their money to fraudulent schemes, failed ICOs, and a whole lot. Many others also got to know about cryptocurrencies through education, such as seminars organized by these blockchain companies by ways of creating awareness for their company and their currency. I quite remember somewhere in 2018 when Zcash organized seminars on our campus just to create awareness for their cryptocurrencies. Others also got to know about Bitcoin as they learned it as a simple way to send funds. Many people in my country sought ways to send funds cross-border at a very high speed and a very low charge. And as such, many people got to know that through the use of blockchain or Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, they would be able to send Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies to a lot of people overseas. By far, a lot of people know the name Bitcoin, but they don't really know much about the technology behind it. Over the recent years, there has been a great deal of interest in blockchain technology in our universities. I mean the students, but we lack a very well-structured curricula for the blockchain education in our various universities in Ghana here. And as such, what KNUST Blockchain Hub is doing is that we have been providing the basic knowledge in blockchain and other cryptocurrencies just for the students or the members to know what blockchain is and what Bitcoin can be used for. But as I said, the mere technology and the engineering aspect cannot be taught in this form. And so the resources that we need to increase mass education here in Africa is a problem for us. With that being said, I think we will go to another way that others use to learn about cryptocurrencies. Through social media and other ways of interacting on our websites, they found a lot of ads that were being taught about cryptocurrencies and how people can use projects built on blockchain. And so through media ads by blockchain companies, a lot of people in Ghana got to know about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And also people organize webinars and seminars just to educate people on blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Right now, let's look at if blockchain is accepted in Africa. Is blockchain accepted in Africa? Generally, many governments have advised their nations against the use of cryptocurrencies, but there is no legislative law against it as at now. So they are widely used in many countries here in Ghana. An example is Nigeria, where regulators have cautioned their citizens and also discourage them from investing in cryptocurrencies with the reason that virtual currencies aren't legal, but yet cryptocurrency activities is very ongoing in the country. It has also been reported that a country like Kenya, the government has set up a blockchain task force that will investigate into areas where blockchain could be applied for the betterment of the lives of Africans. And so the general acceptance of blockchain or cryptocurrencies in Africa is that legally or legislatively, the government have not issued any acceptance law, but people keep on using because this disruptive technology has brought about the betterment of the lives of many people in Africa. And so we have seen that there are many blockchain communities in Africa, in countries like South Africa, Sudan, Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, and other countries that has also been using cryptocurrencies for their projects. My country, like Ghana, we haven't had any legislative law to talk about the acceptance of blockchain or cryptocurrencies in Ghana. But as I said, the government, as at last 3 months, issued a communique talking about how it is going to develop a digital currency to enable our digital transactions go on very smoothly. And so we believe in our country that Bitcoin or blockchain projects such as cryptocurrencies will be widely accepted in Ghana here, so as West Africa and the whole of Africa, to be precise. And so let's look at some industries in Africa that can be used for the betterment of its activities through the use of blockchain technology. And as I said, many countries in Africa are regarded as developing countries, and some are even low-income countries and so underdeveloped countries. These countries are really a target for blockchain because they have a lot of industries that this blockchain can be used to improve its efficiency. And so areas such as improvement in cross-border supply chains, improvement in healthcare, improvement in energy supply regulations, even voting systems, food supply chain, education, and finance aspects, all of these parts can be used for as long as blockchain's improvement is concerned. I would like to talk about such of these cases in Africa. And so when you take improvement of cross-border supply chains, we can see that Africa's economy is focused on the exports of goods, farm products, and oil. However, the supply chains system in Africa are often inefficient. There are numerous middlemen in the system, increasing the cost and reducing the return on investments. And so if we could get blockchain projects in the improvement of cross-border supply chains, I think this is a very good opportunity as an infrastructure that can use blockchain technology for its improvements. We can also take a look at our healthcare system in Africa, which is one of the biggest challenges here in Africa, as nations, many nations, Ghana is facing a whole lot of healthcare system inefficiencies. Medical staff is not well equipped, and many healthcare facilities still use the outdated way of storing patient files, patients' records, patients' medical history, and a whole lot. And so blockchain could make things better in this area, as well as in the transparency in the industry. We could also take a look at how the blockchain is improving energy, can improve energy supply in Africa as a whole. And we can see that there are a number of companies interested in building energy infrastructure, such as solar panels or windmills in Africa. But the only thing holding them back as potential misuses from the moment when the regime takes over the energy. And so we can as well think of the deployment of blockchain technology, which could help tackle this problem by recording all the transactions and regulating supply according to the demand. And so blockchain technology can be employed to the betterment of supply regulations as far as energy supply is concerned. Blockchain could also help in property and identity management. As of now, I think we have a blockchain project in Ghana called Bitland, which is a blockchain-based land registry startup. The hope is that this project will help farmers lift out of poverty by making it easier for them to document and confirm land ownership, as well as getting enough loans without any proof of land ownership when their lands have already been registered onto the blockchain. And so property management and identity management could also be improved with the use of blockchain technology. We can also talk about the voting systems in Africa, which takes the old traditional ways of voting and creates a lot of political issues, political problems. As of 2008, I think Ghana had a problem with our voting results, and so we sent our election results to court, and it took more than a year and a half before the verdict was finally given to us. And this problem can be curbed with the using of blockchain technology. And now let me talk about education in Africa. I think blockchain can also improve the way we introduce our students to computer education, as blockchain could be used to educate our students in computer engineering as well as blockchain engineering, blockchain architecture, and a whole lot of courses that blockchain can be used for. And finally, I'll talk about one of the main or the biggest use cases that blockchain can be used for in Africa. You see, blockchain deployment for cross-border payments in Africa has become a very hot cake because Africa has the biggest unbanked population in the world. As big as 60% of our population is unbanked. Not everybody has access to the bank or any bank-related activities. And as a result of this, KNUST Blockchain Hub as a team and I has come up with a setup called BlockRemit, which is a cross-border payment system that will allow users to send fiat as well as cryptocurrencies, and even send fiat with cryptocurrencies. This project has a very unique feature of enabling users to send crypto by USSD, and BlockRemit is currently at its initial stages, and therefore we are very open for investors and sponsors to push this project. And so if you are looking at what KNUST Blockchain Hub as a club is doing to support blockchain projects here in Africa, we can talk of KNUST as a one of the biggest universities in Africa, serving as a home for about 60,000 students, both graduates and undergraduates. And so KNUST Blockchain Hub is the only student club here in the country that is serving purposely for blockchain and providing blockchain education for students and also building blockchain projects. And as I said, KNUST Blockchain Club is currently working on a cross-border payment system called BlockRemit. And as you can see on the screen, this is the logo for BlockRemit and an app interface of BlockRemit. Our mantra is providing easy, fast, and secure platform to send fiat money with digital currencies. And so we are currently working on this, and as I stated earlier, we are open for investors, we are open for sponsorship to be able to push this project in the coming years. And so what is preventing blockchain adoption in Africa? Many hurdles have entangled the speed of blockchain and cryptocurrency adoption here in Africa. And some of these hurdles can be overcome, the interference of the government, as well as other blockchain companies. Problems such as low level of education and lack of awareness on blockchain and cryptocurrencies, I think with the intervention of many educational resources as far as blockchain education is concerned, a lot of people can work on this and curb this or reduce the low level of education and increase adoption in Africa. The second main point I want to talk about is people tagging Bitcoin as a scam. As a result of the way that people were introduced to blockchain in the earlier stages, people still tag Bitcoin as a scam, although Bitcoin is not a scam, that we all know. People tag Bitcoin as a scam. This is because of the fraudulent schemes that many people use to lure people to Ponzi investment schemes and take their money. And so people still have the mindset that Bitcoin is a scam. And for us to eradicate this type of perception, we need the intervention of governments to approve or give proper regulations on blockchain and cryptocurrency uses. And also, I think because we have fewer blockchain companies or blockchain projects coming out of Africa, that is causing this low level of acceptance or adoption in Africa. And so if we could get a lot of blockchain projects, if we could get a lot of sponsorship to push our projects in Africa, it will increase the adoption, increase the way people see Bitcoin, and increase many people's usage of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So basically, that is what is going on in Africa as far as cryptocurrencies is concerned. And with all this being said, not to dive deep, because I think if we are to talk about cryptocurrencies in Africa and Bitcoin, it will take days and weeks. And so using this 30 minutes presentation, this is just an overview of what blockchain is doing to Africa, what is happening to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in Africa, and what, as a club, as a blockchain community in Ghana and KNUST as a whole, we are doing to support blockchain in Africa. I thank you very much for your audience, and I'm open for questions. Thank you very much, Tyler.
Thank you very much, Norbert. Hey, really quickly, is there any website or anywhere that people can learn more about Block Remit in case they want to invest or learn more about it before they invest in you guys?
Currently, we don't have any website to showcase what Block Remit is about, but
got it.
We are not sure if we could build a website as at now because of the lockdown issues and a whole lot of things coming up. Block Remit is actually a new project as submitted to MouseBelt some weeks ago that we want to undertake. And currently we don't have any website. But with what you are saying, I think it will be in our best interest if my team could come up with any way that investors can get access to a website just for a little information or education on the of Block Remit, and so on Block Remit.
Got it. Sorry, you just broke up a little bit there towards the end, but okay, good to know. So then it would be safe to say that if anybody wanted to reach out to you directly, they could, and that's a good place to inquire more about that.
Yes.
Got it. So yep, right there on the screen, you see it. You got Norbert's Gmail address. I did have one question before we sign off here. Is there any discussion about bringing legislation around cryptocurrency policies or business development around blockchain technology in Ghana? Because I know that you mentioned that there doesn't currently exist any legislation, but I wonder if there's been any conversation around that.
Yes, I think the attention of the government was drawn to the cryptocurrencies usage and some years ago. And so, as I stated earlier, about 3 to 4 months ago, our Bank of Ghana governor came up with a policy to develop a digital currency to facilitate cross-border payments or online country. Although as a result of the fraudulent schemes and other things that caused Bitcoin to tumble some years ago, I think they will just come up with a very good legislative law to regulate the usage of cryptocurrencies in the near future. And it won't be long, to be honest. It won't be long. We are expecting that in few months or years to come, the government will give us a legislative body to regulate how cryptocurrencies is being used in Africa or in Ghana as a country. Yes.
Mhm. Got it. And how about any particular projects? Is there like a heavy presence of any particular projects that you found in Ghana or in nearby regions? Because I know that, you know.
Yes, 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 yes. As I said, one of the projects that is currently ongoing is a project built on blockchain, a property and identity management project. I think the founder and the CEO is based in Ghana here. Yes, his name is Narigamba Musobi or so. He's the founder and CEO of Bitland. And this project hopes to help Ghanaian farmers lift out of poverty by making it easier for them to document and confirm land ownership. And so Bitland is one of the main blockchain projects in Ghana here. And I also know of a BitSika finance project built on blockchain, which is a cross-border payment system here in Africa. Great. There are a number of startups in Africa, but as I said, it all boils or enough investors to just come in and push the projects. And so it's not really encouraging as compared to the enormous projects ongoing in countries like the US, in China, and other countries. But we still have startups in Ghana. And as I stated earlier, Bitland, which have its CEO in Ghana, is a blockchain project for property and identity management. Yes.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, or at least this is what you see people speculating. In a lot of ways, that might make Africa a sort of really great place for blockchain technology to flourish, because it seems like, one, you have a lot of use cases, and two,
yes,
like it seems like the lack of really robust infrastructures around finance or supply chain or sort of other related industries means that there's less for people to sort of lose, right? Like there's not much to lose. And so
yes,
if you're being presented with an opportunity to sort of adopt a technology that could arguably only help you out, it seems like you're more keen to sort of work with that, So I mean, I think it will be really it will be really interesting to see how things develop in Africa in the next 10 years or so,
Yes, that's very true. As you said, we have a lot of infrastructure here in Africa that can be revolutionized with blockchain technology. And so it's a very good use case to get a lot of people trying to push blockchain projects here in Africa, because we have a lot of use cases here in Africa, from healthcare to voting systems to education, finance, cross-border payments, even supply chain. And so there are a lot of opportunities here in Africa as far as blockchain is concerned. Yes, that's very true.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you again, Norbert. That was really interesting, and it's great to just see kind of what's happening all around the globe with this stuff. Is there any last words you'd like to say before we sign off here?
Yes, reimagining 2020 is a very good thing that MouseBelt has really done, because it is bringing a lot of insights, looking at the number of speakers that will be talking about what is going on in blockchain in the whole world. Right now, I talked about Africa. I know that other people are going to talk about what is happening in other parts of the world. And so Reimagining 2020 is very good, and I'm very glad to be part of the team for Reimagining 2020. Thank you very much. And I'm
All
glad
right.
to be part of the team.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Take care.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Take care too.